heart of Medina, as Islam took root, a hidden trial tested even the greatest of men, one that would reveal the unmatched power of Allah's words. Its message moved from gathering to gathering, from heart to heart, until what had once been dismissed began to take root. Influence shifted quietly, and old positions no longer held as they once had. Those who had long stood secure felt the change, but did not speak of it. They watched as allegiance moved and authority slipped from familiar hands. Resentment did not rise in open confrontation. It remained contained, measured, and patient. And in that restraint, a decision began to form. This was not simple jealousy. It was resentment born when pride was threatened and status began to fade. The kind that convinces itself it is defending truth while protecting power. They argued, mocked, and conspired. None of it worked. People continued to gather around him, trust his words, and follow his guidance. Truth did not weaken under their attacks. It only made their resistance clearer. Resentment hardened into action. Labid ibn al-Asam, a man known for practicing magic in secrecy, was approached and asked to perform it. He said, "Bring me something he has touched, a strand of hair, a comb." A young servant boy was sent and obtained strands of hair from his comb. The hair and comb were wrapped inside a palm fiber covering. Labid tied the first knot, then another, until there were 11 in total. Each knot was tightened with care, sealed with intention, infused with the envy that had quietly festered in hidden hearts. They then went beyond the edge of Medina to the well of Darwan, old, abandoned, its water dark and still. The bundle was placed inside the well. Days passed. The Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, remained steady, though a subtle disturbance appeared. He would think a task complete when it was not. It subtly affected his daily perceptions, yet the revelation itself remained untouched. Allah had promised its protection, and nothing could interfere with it. Only Aisha, may Allah be pleased with her, noticed the change. She watched closely, observing the pauses in his actions and the subtle hesitations in his steps. The unease touched his routine, yet he maintained patience and continued to counsel his companions, pray, and fulfill his responsibilities. The impact was quiet, almost imperceptible, but it was real. It was a test of awareness and reliance upon Allah. When the unease continued, he turned to Allah. In a dream, Allah informed him of what had been done and revealed the verses by which he would be cured. He went with his companions to the well. The rope was lowered into the still water. The bundle was retrieved, heavy with dampness. The knots were still tied. Surah Al-Falaq and Surah An-Nas, known as the two protector verses, were recited. With the first verse, a knot loosened. An-Nas addresses harm that approaches from within, the whispering that settles in the chest, subtle, recurring, retreating when remembered. It reminds that inner disturbances are repelled through conscious refuge in the Lord of mankind.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Qul a'udhu bi rabbin nas, malikin nas, ilahin nas, min sharril waswasul khannas, الذي يوسوس في صدور الناس من الجنة والناس.
Verse after verse, knot after knot. 11 verses, 11 knots. Each recitation was not merely sound, but a shield. Every verse carried weight. Every word offered protection. With every verse, the effect weakened further. Al-Falaq addresses harm that emerges from creation, darkness, envy, and attempts to harm through hidden means. It teaches that even what is unseen and subtle remains under the authority of Allah.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Qul a'udhu bi rabbil falaq, من شر ما خلق ومن شر غاسق إذا وقب ومن شر النفاثات في العقد ومن شر حاسد إذا حسد.
When the final verse was recited, the last knot fell open. The cure came from Allah alone. The verses were the means He chose. The effect ended completely, as though a weight had been lifted from the air itself. He returned home restored. The clarity returned. The heaviness was gone. When asked why he did not expose those responsible, he replied that Allah had cured him, and he did not wish to spread harm among the people. No retaliation, no public spectacle. The incident ended, but its guidance remained. Beyond that event, the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, taught his companions to seek protection regularly through 3 chapters of the Qur'an: Surah Al-Ikhlas, Surah Al-Falaq, and Surah An-Nas, known together as the Three Quls. He recited them in the morning and evening, and before sleep. He recited them over himself and over his family, teaching that protection begins with remembrance, not fear. Al-Ikhlas establishes the foundation: Allah is one, absolute, self-sufficient, and no force operates outside His will.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد.
Al-Ikhlas establishes the foundation: Allah is one, absolute, self-sufficient, and no force operates outside His will. Every heart that acknowledges this truth finds certainty and strength against fear, doubt, and hidden pressures. Together they provide complete protection, firm belief, protection from external harm, and protection from internal whispering, and the foundation of faith that shields against both. The cure was not only for that well, it was for every heart that would face unseen pressure after it. Every soul, at some point, encounters the envy, the whispers, the subtle pressure of hidden intent, and these chapters serve as refuge for all who seek it. They are a timeless safeguard intended for every generation, every heart, every moment when unseen forces seek to disturb peace and clarity. True refuge is found in the Lord, the King, the God of mankind, from the evil that is created and from the whisperer who retreats. Through these verses, the believers are reminded that protection is not merely a shield against external acts, but an affirmation of trust, certainty, and reliance on Allah. The Three Quls provide structure to daily life, a rhythm of remembrance that cultivates strength against envy, harm, and internal doubt. They serve as a guide for prayer, reflection, and spiritual fortification. Let this story serve as a gentle reminder to us all: seek refuge in Allah, from harm that is visible and from harm that whispers in the shadows of the heart. Carry this guidance with you beyond this moment. True protection is born of certainty in Allah and of steadfast remembrance of Him in every affair, the seen and the unseen alike. May Allah shield every heart from envy, from whispers, and from every hidden harm. May He grant us constancy in His remembrance and peace in His protection. Ameen.
If this reminder benefited you, do not let it stop with you. The Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, said, "Whoever guides to something good will have a reward similar to the one who does it." Subscribe to Islamic True Stories for Quranic reminders and authentic stories. Like this reminder so it reaches more hearts. Share it. Someone close to you may need it. May Allah accept it from us and place barakah in what was heard. Make it a protection for our hearts and our homes.